Welcome to my communication studio. My name is Lauren Sergi, and this is the place where we get to dive into your questions about everything public speaking and communications. Today's question is from Paul, who asks, "Dear Lauren, I'm giving a speech at a business event and I'll admit that I'm nervous about it." Totally normal, Paul. "Can I have a drink during the event's cocktail hour beforehand to take the edge off? Thanks, Paul." No. Paul, this is a question I get so often. And despite my teasing, it's actually a pretty reasonable question to ask. Before I answer it though, I want to be clear that I'm going off the assumption that you only drink in moderation and don't actually use alcohol as a coping mechanism. Now, lots of businesses and personal events involve alcohol, and if you're feeling a little jittery about the talk or the speech or the toast beforehand, it can be tempting to have that one drink to take the edge off. My personal guideline regarding drinking and speaking is no, never drink before you speak. You want to be stone cold sober when it's time to give your speech. And if you've taken the edge off with a glass of vino or some spirits, then you're actually saying that you're at least a little bit tipsy. And here's the thing, you don't want to take the edge off, especially using booze. That edge, that little shot of nerves that you get before you speak, can actually help you be sharper and perform better when you take to the microphone. You certainly don't want to unnecessarily dull your wits or your brain even in the slightest before you go to speak. When the question of whether or not I can have a drink before a talk comes up, what we're really discussing here is about your understanding of your own personal tolerance and limits. I'm a lightweight when it comes to booze. It does not take a lot for me to really feel the effects of alcohol, so I simply don't touch it before a speech. Other people might be more tolerant than I, and maybe they can handle that glass of wine, but you need to be very honest with yourself about your limits and not let pride or machismo get in the way of sensibility. Most people assume they can handle more booze than they actually can. So I find it safest to not have a drop until after the speech is over. I definitely understand too that there can be a lot of peer pressure to drink at different events, especially conferences or corporate galas or networking events. And I often get well-meaning guests or hosts pushing drinks on me out of their honest desire to be hospitable. But just because the drink is offered, you don't need to take it, even if you really want to. If you are feeling self-conscious about turning down a drink or about not having one in hand, I've got a couple strategies for you that I regularly use to stave off those offers. First, if someone asks you if you want a drink, be honest and just say, "No thanks, I don't drink before I speak," or simply order for something non-alcoholic. That's usually my go-to. If you're feeling pressured to have drinks, have something non-alcoholic in a glass already. And if someone asks if they can get you a drink, just say, "No thanks, I've already got one." Ginger ale or cola in a highball glass works great for this. Then, once your speech is over, celebrate with that forbidden glass of red. It is going to feel that much more indulgent and relaxing after your speech is nicely finished and out of the way. Thank you so much for your question, Paul. I hope my answer helps you out. And now, I'd love to hear from you. What's your favorite booze-free drink at a party? Let me know in the comments down below. And be sure to click that like button and subscribe to my channel so that you can stay on top of all of the great communication Q&A that I've got coming at you. And if you haven't already, head over to laurensergi.com and subscribe to my newsletter. I'll send you speaking tips, communication suggestions, and lots of other great stuff to help you make your next speech your best. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again on the next Communication Q&A.